That is one big pile of shit.
You're right. There's no trace of lilac berries.
Let's take a look at the global labs, guys. Apparently some pretty big changes on here. Really? We just went straight into the, hold on. Improved conditions on technology presets. I think that's skill presets. The cooldown for changing skill presets has been reduced from 10 minutes to 1 minute. Okay, that's pretty good. That's W. I don't know why there was ever a big one. Improve the ability to change skill presets even when not in a safe zone. Oh my god. That is a huge win. This is actually a really big quality of life change that should have been implemented like 6 years ago. But here we are. Or I guess 4 years ago. Just some bug fixes. Black Sage's Wrath. So this is the... Oh, they added the Black Spirit skills for Awakening Dosa. There's 1. There's 2. That's pretty cool. That's the 50. Your back E looks like it's the 25. And then the 10% is the fire one. 5 elements mutual growth. So this is like what, Dosa? We sincerely thank all the adventurers who've been actively playing and sending us feedback since the release of Awakening Dosa. With this update, the method of activating the synergy effect of the 5 elements skill will change slightly. Previously, the symbiosis effect was based on... Guys, what they're talking about is when you cast a wood skill and then a fire skill and set the wood on fire, it gives it like extra stuff. It's kind of like how the elements interact with each other. Okay. Previously, the 5 elements symbiosis effect was activated based on the location of enemies with the 5 elements energy, making it difficult to buff allies. In order to improve this, we changed it to activate based on the 5 elements area. Due to this, the beneficial buff effect received from the caster would be somewhat excessive, so we changed the synergy effect to be received only through the 5 elements area. From this perspective, the beneficial ally buffs are activated in the 5 elements area themselves, have been expanded and improved to last longer so that their necessity is a little bit more appropriate. Okay, so they're just making it last a little longer and... Okay, yeah, so they're making the buffs last a little longer so you don't have to constantly spam it, I guess. Dosa Elements Generate. We sincerely thank all of our adventurers playing Awakening Dosa and sharing feedback. This is the same thing again. Symbiosis effect is activated. The application range is increased by 40%. Okay, that's good. So it's a bigger range. And now it's from 5 seconds. So now your allies get 10-second buffs instead of 5-second buffs. Good change. Good change. The mutual growth effect will be triggered at the location of the 5 elements area. Okay. Change that the 5 element realms you summon are no longer affected by the 5 element realms summoned in their Taoists. Okay, by other... Oh. So you can't stack it with other Awakening Doses. Okay. Accordingly, the duration has been changed from 12 to 10 seconds. Okay, sure. Okay, so these are just bug fixes and all of that other stuff. On the... It's tough to tell, guys, but one of the Earth skills got some HP recovery on it. Yeah, so just some Awakening Dosa buffs. It's tough to tell which skill is which on the global apps like this, though. Where are the roses? Size and Sanctum of the Guardians has been increased, making them easier to spot and attack during combat. Additionally, musical spirits, which help resurrect fallen heroes in each sanctum, now show their location effect closer, making it easier to find them. We've also changed the color of Stablekeeper label, the Stablekeeper above their names, which we use to blend to the allies. Okay, so again, there's musical spirits for your horses now. and they've increased the size of the sanctuaries. Or the roses, because it's actually good content. I loved it when I did it. It was a fun time. It's just that, like, you know, a lot of their PvPers are kind of not playing at the moment. Complete items upon achieving enhancement. What? When updating your season character's Naru gear and converting it to Prime, many adventurers find it cumbersome to chat with the Black Spirit again to fulfill the seasonal pass requirement of equipping a gear after the enhancement. This especially affected new adventurers who didn't know they could skip this by talking to the Black Spirit again. To improve this convenience from now on, can fulfill the season pass requirement by simply achieving the appropriate enhancement stage. Again, should have been done 4 years ago when they came out, or 5 years ago when they came out with season. I guess 4 years ago. But good change. Monster, Cadry Ruins. In order to make the hunting ground of Cadry Ruins more enjoyable, improvements have been made to the terrain. I'm going to choose my words carefully on this because I'm trying to be more positive about BDO's direction. How did you not realize that that was going to be a problem? Do you see what does everyone see what I'm saying here? You know what I mean? Like, how did you not, like, what are we talking about? Like, what? There's a cliff here. There's a cliff there. It falls off. Like, if you guys can't see it super clearly, there's a cliff on that side. It falls off. It literally falls off over there. Just like it does on this side. This is a hard cliff. That's a softer cliff. And then there's a wall here that you can't climb up. Like, what are we doing? You know, like what are we talking about? Like, what? How did we not get this right before? This is way better. This is much better. Yeah, this is how it should have been in the first one. These are good changes, but like, let's look at this. Like, the funny thing is they need to do the same thing with Ash Forest, right? Ash Forest there's like 2 viable spots for Dekia Ash. And then the other like 3 are just completely butt cheeks to grind. Miserable experiences. Like, you have a much higher chance of dying at the other ones because there's like, especially the one up against that cliff up in the trees. Oh my God, it's so miserable. But PMA, you can always grind that one on Arsha and no one will bother you because no one thinks to check it. So I apologize profusely to those players. That being said, no one's grinding it anyway. So, because like, again, that one sucks. So again, like, this is, you've got like cliffs on 2 sides. These are a little far away. That's probably fine. But there's a cliff here. Right? And there's rocks here. And there's shit here. Like, I just don't understand. Why didn't we clean this up before? It should have been cleaned up immediately. But it's good that they're cleaning it up now. Dekia Crescent monsters have been improved to give priority to pursuing nearby enemies after appearing. Okay, whatever. Added a new quest, Guild for a Strong Adventurer, where you can receive guidance on how to join a new guild from Lara. Through this quest, you can receive guidance on how to create join or create a guild. And you're going to get 20 million silver. Okay, what is this? Yeah, so just quality of life improvements for Tuvala. Okay, Node War changes. For the Node War, the format's upside is to be easier participation and a chance to win, even if your guild's power isn't somewhat lacking compared to your opponents. Your guild has no chance to win if you're... No, this is stupid, but they don't understand it. Due to the format's rule, the guild's occupying the fort when the timer ends claims victory. However, this also prevents the downside. Some guilds aim to occupy the fort for just before the timer ends to secure a win. This can be frustrating for guilds. To address this, we're adjusting rules to allow guilds actively occupying a fort to win. In Node Wars, with more than 3 guilds participating, if a guild successfully holds a fort for 15 minutes, they can achieve the final occupation even if there's time left on the clock. Oh, cool. So now you can just own the fort for 15 minutes and walk away. Awesome. All right, guys. Node Wars are all 15 minutes now. No one actually has to go to Node Wars. You just go for 15 minutes, hold the fort, rotate it to the next guild. Additionally, at the start of Node War, it might be challenging to reclaim a fort immediately. Like, do you guys see what I'm saying? I immediately destroyed that. Immediately, like, this is so dumb. This is just so out of touch. They just don't. They're not PvPers. They can't think things through, bro. At the start of Node War, it might just be challenging to reclaim a fort immediately for tasks receiving the flag factory. Therefore, once the flag factory is completed, you can instantly receive an indomitable flag. So you can get a flag right away. Okay, good. That's actually a good change. But these changes aim to encourage intense battles. They're going to discourage battles. People are going to fight for 15 minutes and then leave. That's it. They're going to fight for 15 minutes and then they're going to leave. You guys know it. I know it. We all know it. Your system sucks. Stop trying to fix it. You need a whole new system again. And you need to bring in players that actually know what they're talking about. Fly Choice out. Fly Soggy out. Fly Loads out. Fly the EU guild leaders and creators out. You'll make thousands, you'll make millions of dollars off the players that will come back to your game if you just let the players make the large scale system for you. It's cooked. Adjustment of the number of participants in Node Wars. We reviewed the participation data, and it turns out that most lack around 5 to 10 participants. And even, wait, we've reviewed the participation data from adventurers across all regions since the Node War revamp, and it turns out that most of them lack 5 to 10 participants. And even guilds that can gather the maximum number of participants tend to limit around 3 times per week. They are freely admitting that most of the guilds that drop for their Node War system are snipe guilds. Actually, that's insane. Based on this, we've adjusted the system to allow the most number of adventurers to participate in the Node Wars by the day of the week. We'll continue to make adjustments. Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday. 30, 50, 75. Monday, Wednesday, Friday. 25, 40, 55. This maximum participant change, I talked a little bit about it before. I'm gonna be honest. This does nothing. Because again, they're like, again, there's only one man cap for uncapped and it's 55. The developers still have no idea what they're doing. They're not listening to the player base. They're making uncapped 55 man instead of like everybody wants 30 man. 30 man uncapped. Everybody wants that. They just can't get it right. They're stupid. Fine. Middle ground's 40 and the normal capped ones are 40 and then the T1s are 25 mans, but only on Monday, Wednesday, Friday. On Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, no one can do Node Wars at all. Or Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday, no one does Node Wars at all because it requires too many people now. Because again, this should have been a symptom. Right here, this sentence right here is insane. Okay. We reviewed the participation data for adventurers across all regions since the Node War revamp, and it turns out that most guilds are lacking 5 to 10 participants. And even guilds that can gather the maximum number of participants tend to miss that limit around 3 times a week. Cooked. Because no one's playing their game? Well, no. You can't tell me. They literally said in the dev note, their new Node War system decreased sniping. Like Node War sniping. Right? And then they come out with this little number. Is insane. So please just admit that your system is dog shit. You completely failed your player base. And start again from scratch. Make it work. Otherwise, no one is going to come back and play your game. This is a dog shit. This is not doing anything. This will have a 0 impact on Node Wars. None. And their shift up here, also 0 impact on Node Wars. And they're still praising themselves. The craziest thing is they can't not praise themselves every single time they talk about it. The current stronghold node war is relatively easy to participate in and has the advantage of having a chance to win, even if the power is somewhat lacking compared to the opposing guild. They can't even acknowledge that the last hit feature is like a complete mistake too, bro. They just can't do it. It's insane. It's actually just wild. It's like they just don't understand what to do with Node Wars. And in fairness, they should just remove it.
PA, stop changing the game for Martians. Your player base is from Earth.
Fair enough. They should just remove it. Just do what you did with trading. Just say, okay, no more Node Wars. Just remove it. You remove trading, just remove Node Wars. Like, whatever. No one will even be mad. There's no one to even be mad about that. Just do it. During the occupation and stronghold war, safe zones have been removed so that all areas except the following major cities and towns are considered combat zones. Safe zones that apply during occupation wars and stronghold wars are as follows. Heidelberg City. Okay, so I want to be clear about something. This is an ocean of dog shit changes with a diamond in the dog shit. Okay, so there's a diamond deep in there. Do you remember that?
That is one big pile of shit.
You're right. There's no trace of lilac berries. It's so odd, though. Alright, so she's suffering from meliotoxicity.
Am I wrong, though? I'll be honest with you. Node can edit that in post. That shit eats. Like, the skill add-on change is good, right? All of the Node War changes are dog shit. This one is actually good. Removing safe zones during Node War and hopefully Siege, I believe that's what this means, is really good. Right? Like, this is really good, but you have to dig through all of the garbage to get here. This is juiced. During occupation battles and stronghold battles, detrimental effects such as defense reduction effects would no longer be applied to castles and auxiliary buildings.
Angel1212 just resubscribed for 2 months.
Wait, back up. Panjo, welcome back for 2 months, but I appreciate you coming back to support me, man. Let's back up for a minute, guys. Let's back up for a minute. During Node Wars and Conquest Wars, defense reduction effects will no longer be applied to buildings. Are you telling me that for 10 years, 10 years, DP debuffs have been working on buildings? Again, found another one. That is insane. During the Stronghold War, debuff effects of the Guild Cannon's Mount Flame Shell and Guild Flame Shell have been changed as follows. Oh. So minus 100 health for 45 seconds, 50 seconds. This is actually way better. This is better because it's not as punishing. But Jay was having trouble landing his flame cannon shots. And so, yeah, we're getting a lot of cannon changes. So cannonballs will now do more damage for less time. During an occupation or stronghold battle, when firing a guild cannon mount, flame shell, or flame shells, the flame effect will no longer be created at the point of impact. What? Oh, yeah. So what the developers... Oh my god. Oh my god. I'm too old. I'm pissed. I'm so mad. If I was a new player, I wouldn't even know to be mad right now. Okay, so here's what happened, guys. Normally, and I'm explaining this so that like people that don't know Node Wars can understand. In Node Wars, you had 3 different types of cannonballs, but we're only going to focus on 2. Okay. Actually, there's a bunch of different types of cannonballs. We're only going to focus on. There's flame cannonballs, and then there's like normal balls. Okay. So what you would do as a scouter, because there was dynamic to cannons, is you would literally have to fire flame cannonballs, and then they would land on the target, and they would create a big ring of fire around your target. That way, one of your guild members that went to go scout for you can say, hey, you're too far, or hey, you're a little over to the left, right? It would show you where you're hitting in relation to your target. Okay? And we all thought that this was a intended feature of the game. Like, this is how it was supposed to be used. Okay, to be clear. Then, last week, they changed cannons so that it makes a giant ping where the ball landed, so you don't need a spotter anymore. And now, on the global labs, there's no more flame cannonball, like, fire circle anymore. Which leads me to why I'm angry. These did not realize that this is how we've been scouting with cannons.
Nightfall just resubscribed for 13.
7 years.
Duckcast.
7 years. They finally figured out how we're scouting people with cannons. And they were like, oh, we can make that easier for you. They could have done this the whole time. That's crazy, especially since Jay claims to be a Jae Kim claims to be a cannoneer. It seems like such a simple thing, but again,
That is one big pile of shit.
Yeah. Here we go. We're digging through. Honestly, that's probably me right there, if we're being honest. And there's the cannon chain. We found it. We're good. You know what I mean? Okay, there's the cannon chain. Ultimately ends up being a good change. Should have happened like 7 years ago. Fixes and changes. These are all bug fixes. We would like to thank all of our adventurers who have always been playing, Black Desert. Wait, what? Are you deliberately excluding all the people that aren't with Black Desert currently? What are we doing? Continuing to ruin BDO? No. Okay, so I say that these global labs assessment, some of these are really good changes. This skill add-on change, being able to change this everywhere, huge, biggest quality of life change probably in the entire patch. Right here. This right here. Then there's some Dosa bug fixes. They're adding the BSR for Dosa short W's, right? Yeah, Dosa stuff, fantastic, awesome. War of the Roses, sure, some upgrade quality of life issues, good, right? The seasonal thing should have happened forever ago. Again, quality of life, right? Cadry ruins, this change. This should never have happened. I don't know why the developers thought that these were good places to put a... You know what I mean? Like what are we talking about? There's 2 cliffs on either side of that Dekia spot. But, you know, whatever. Good quality of life changes. Then you come down here. Some cutscene stuff. This is the Node War stuff. And this is where the dog shit begins. You just go scroll past all this shit. Most people don't even care a fuck about this shit anyway. And then this is all dumb dog shit, disconnected. We don't understand anything about our player-based stuff. And then you get down here. This is really good. That removing safe zones like this. Hopefully they removed all the safe zones in Balanos. Except for these areas. That will be big for Siege. That actually makes Siege like a lot more playable. Hopefully they allow you to build forts in more locations on Balanos, that would be really good too. Like in that field and stuff would be excellent. Anywho, but they probably didn't. Who am I kidding? Anyway, that was a really good change. And then this change with the flame cannon shots is really good too. There's some good stuff in here. There's some bad stuff in here. Note will just cut out a lot of my, like, I ain't trying to doom, but the Jurassic Park shit went kind of hard, pun intended. I give it in America, we call this a C. Okay. You passed it. C's get degrees. Okay. Alternatively, you could call it D for done. You know what I mean? Still technically passing. Okay. But like none of these changes are going to really improve the state of the game. Quality of life is good. They're still working with their old node war system, which means it's cooked. But like, you know, it is what it is.